We need to have my script up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Take two. You ready?
All right.
Are you ready now?
Sure.
I don't think he was ready. That's why I had to rough run it.
Gotcha.
It was in your
He's
interest.
right. It's me.
Hello, people of the world. Welcome back to another episode of Sam Sessions. We're back here in the Acoustic A Room of South Austin Music, and you got the world's worst. You got the, well, I've been promoted. How many episodes is it now?
We're about 14.
14 episodes in, so I was the world's worst interviewer, and now I'm the world's most mediocre interviewer in this chair here. And to my right, we have Dave Scher. How you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you in
You
here.
as well.
How long ago do you think you were in here last?
Last? Oh, goodness. It must have been, 2 weeks, something like that.
Coming in about a bi-weekly basis?
Something like that. I think so.
Yeah. How long do you think you've been coming into the shop, would you say?
Hard to say. I think the first guitar I bought here must have been 2003 or 4.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was a Ventura, and it was kind of a knockoff of a 175
Yeah.
arch top.
So you were buying Venturas and I was still pooping in diapers.
I mean, so was I.
Okay, cool. That makes me
They
feel
asked
better.
me to leave.
Yeah, I guess the question should have been, how many times have you been kicked out of South Austin Music?
I didn't tell you how old I was
Yeah.
when I came in and bought it.
You looked like you like late 20s, truthfully.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
No receding hairlines, no gray hair. So
No noticeable receding hairlines.
Well, you're holding up. I actually had them switch my chair because from this angle, it looks like my hair's receding too much. So, if that helps you out at all.
That's okay. I'll
So-
take the hot seat.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
hairline hot seat.
Well, for you, it kind of works out the way it falls,
A little bit, sometimes. Sometimes I'm over here.
Oh, you switch it up, huh?
Yeah. I don't mean to. It's just how I wake up.
There you go. So I heard you went to the Berklee College of Music.
I did.
Is that right?
That's right.
Some people hate college, some people love it. How would you describe your experience there?
Well, I'd certainly do it differently if I did it over again. But,
Really?
I mean, it wasn't college. It was pretty incredible. It was,
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I was a good student. I was a terrible student. I was there from 05 to 09, and I didn't graduate. I did 4 years, but I didn't graduate because I chose a dual major, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stuck with what I was doing, which was guitar performance, but I dualed in guitar performance and music therapy. And those combined put a plan together that was 5 years.
Right.
And the only reason I didn't stay, that's not the only reason, a big reason I didn't stay is because I had a 4-year scholarship. So that 5th year would have been
Breaking.
$38,000
Wow.
for a year, for 1 year, for a piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nuts. Which one?
To say that I'm allowed to play gigs.
That you've gone to school for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which one did you enjoy more, the music therapy or guitar performance?
Enjoy? Well, I joined music therapy initially just because that's where the ladies were going. And, the Berklee College of Music is 12% female. Something like that. So,
I see the motivation there.
You kind of just follow them. It was really cool. I didn't see myself working in any more of a medical field, like hospitals and stuff. Although, oddly enough, not to jump around too much, but I do some performances in the Austin area for an organization called Swan Songs.
Swan Song.
Yeah, and it's put on by Christine Albert, who's an incredible songwriter, an artist, and she put this organization together where she hires artists to come in and play bedside at terminally ill folks.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's a special thing. It's a powerful thing. And at first, it's an uncomfortable thing.
I could see that. Yeah.
But having a little bit of experience in not hands-on, but just in school of how that goes and how how it goes when you're studying how music physically affects people's bodies
Yeah.
and I'm glad that I went to school and studied a little bit of that because it prepared me to ease my mind when I first went in and did my first Swan Songs performance.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy, but I mean, it is
No,
very cool.
yeah, it's incredible. What kind of energy do you try and bring into that occasion?
Just
Because I would wonder if it's like a high energy thing and like boisterous and happy, or if it's more of a mellow.
well, I think of whatever the style of music they request.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have that be just the energy of the performance.
The baseline of yeah. Okay.
But when I walk in, no matter what, whether it's like they want me to do like some Texas blues or Southern rock, there's a lot of there've been a lot of patients who've requested Stevie Ray Vaughan or ZZ Top or rock and roll stuff, but I'll still go in calm.
Yeah.
But the words being a little more like, "Are you ready to rock?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't imagine how fulfilling that is.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
It is.
For sure.
Yeah, it is. Especially once you've done it a few times.
Right. Yeah. Once you get a little bit more used to it,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine you gotta. Yeah. A little practice makes perfect situation. Yeah. Is there like the most unique request that you've gotten that comes to mind?
Not that comes to mind, but yeah, there have been a few that are unique. I mean,
like, do you get like I don't know, like Leonard Skinner or like
I've gotten that
something
before,
like heavy rock and roll? Or,
yeah. But then again, unique. I would say like I've gotten Sarah McLachlan.
Oh no, kidding!
I've just kind of responded in the email back to the liaison saying I can play the song and the melody on the guitar, but I am a male. So I can't get up there.
The vocals are going to be a little tough on that one.
Yeah, right.
I would imagine. So jumping back a little bit, you said you would probably do it differently if you could. Mm-hmm. So with your experience, how would you advise someone who wants to perform live to start that journey? I guess you wouldn't say go to Berklee.
I wouldn't say don't go to Berklee.
Mm-hmm.
I think Berklee is a fantastic school. And I think it is a fantastic idea to go to a music school. It all depends. If you want to go to somewhere that's, in my opinion, just as proficient of an education as Berklee, for far less money, you can go up to Denton and go to the University of North Texas. And just as far as learning to become a musician, learning about music, learning about playing. I think those two schools,
are comparable.
Yeah, they complement well together. Berklee is a little more fitting, I would say, to someone who wants to learn how to do it professionally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of music to learn.
Right.
There's also a lot of stuff that's not music to learn in order to become a musician.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of business to learn.
Absolutely. So would you say maybe like if you had to pick like one of these paths, you can either perform live music as much as possible on any stage around town, or you could, study and go to school for it. Which one would you say would be more beneficial?
It's hard to say. Initially I would just say start gigging.
Yeah.
Because that's the best classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs less.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to knock Berklee.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably just priceless experiences that you had there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wasn't a great student. I focused primarily in Berklee. I focused on being a working musician in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time I was in my second semester of my first year, I had started a cover band with another student.
Okay.
And by the time I was halfway through, like 2 years, or maybe the first semester of my third year, I was playing a lot around Boston, Cambridge, going to New York often to play with cover bands and more original artists.
Okay.
And, I got some of those contacts from teachers at Berklee.
Right.
Or from jams.
So a bit of networking going on there, too.
That's the other thing that I would put Berklee on top of UNT is the networking.
Yeah, and that's valuable.
Yeah, it's a hub of
Mm-hmm.
so many people from so many places around the world.
Yeah, that's very cool. So jumping forward a little bit, playing live shows, I've heard your style described as very unique. I'd be curious to see how you describe it.
My style?
Yeah, style of playing.
Who said I was unique?
Mr. Scott Blanco, over there.
I'll go find him. Tell him differently. What do you think of Dave? He's unique. That's like another way of saying strange.
To be fair, he did show me a recording he had of you doing a solo at Saxon Pub, and I can second that. It was pretty intense. Cool. So maybe my describer would be intense.
Well, I like that it's unique. I like that someone has said that anyone says that my style is unique, because I grew up in Austin.
Right.
I was born and raised here, and I can't not be just surrounded by the influence of Stevie Ray Vaughan and Texas blues and then Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page. But when I got into Jeff Beck, I started hearing someone play the guitar like a singer. He plays things on the guitar that sound like they can't be played on the guitar. Not because they're super fast. It's just because the phrasing it sounds like a vocalist. It sounds like a piano. It sounds like not a guitar. And that was really intriguing to me.
Wow, yeah.
So sometimes at Berklee there would be proficiency tests, and it's just at the end of the semester. And a lot of times people would do a transcription of Charlie Parker solo or something like that, And I did that. I did a couple of those. Couple of times I did transcriptions of like a Jill Scott song, her singing. There was someone else, and it was a female vocalist too, just because the guitar laid out in a more soprano kind of way, the song I chose and everything. But I just liked diving into how these singers would improvise and ad-lib, and then you try and mimic it on the guitar, and it's not the type of hand movement you would initially make after learning so many rock and roll licks. And I think that contributes heavily to my quote unquote unique style.
Yeah.
I usually try, and when I'm improvising, I usually try and hit lines or notes or phrases that I hear, and not try and rely on a pattern, not try and rely on licks. Licks are good to know. Licks are good to learn, just to have them in your back pocket, especially if you doze off at a gig. But I try and always hear something and then recreate what I hear in my head.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good bit of what it usually is. So when you've been playing around Austin for a good while, right?
I have.
How long would you say?
I probably got paid for my first gig in Austin at 15.
Wow.
So that's 21 years.
21 years? It's incredible. I can't imagine the amount of change you've seen since you started.
Yeah, and how I feel about the change has moved a little bit.
Has it? That's changed as well?
Yeah.
So how did you feel about it at first as opposed to how you feel about it now?
Totally jaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was too young to be jaded, but everybody was moving here. It's,
Everybody's still moving here.
They sure are, yeah. Musicians were moving here, like good ones and bad ones. And DJs were moving here, and all sorts of folks were moving here that influenced the music scene in a good and bad way.
So you're talking about how many people were moving into Austin then, still now a lot of people are moving in.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was going to say is, even at my age, I've seen the change of where I hear stories where, Dirty Six used to just be all live shows at every corner.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I started going there, it was DJs in every club. And the difference there is just, it's been weird for me to see, and I can't imagine someone who's been around the scene a little bit longer, the kind of changes that they've seen themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of change in the I think small amount of time that 6th Street specifically has seen.
Right.
6th Street used to be a little more like Broadway in Nashville. I think they look pretty identical, only 6th Street is 4 lanes or something instead of 6. It's like it's literally it looks the same to me, like geographically, but in a sense, like folks used to play a 3-hour set or 4-hour set even, and pack up. A lot of people would have their amplifiers on casters and roll down the street to the next club in time for their next 3 or 4 hour set.
Yeah.
And that'd be during the day, into the night. And it used to be like, each gig would you'd walk out of each venue with $250 something like that or more, and especially in the time period of like late 80s, early 90s, that wasn't a bad number to see for a gig. Yeah. Or a day of gigs.
Yeah. That's my favorite time period to hear stories about.
Yeah.
It's kind of the 80s and 90s.
I think so too. That's when.
So what kind of venues do you find yourself at now? I assume you're not playing much on 6th Street.
Not often. Right. Every now and then I still play at Friends Bar. They've done the best at
keeping it.
Yeah. Keeping it true to being a stage that has bands. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was 2014 or 15 when they decided to not have any more DJs. So they don't do that anymore.
Really?
That's
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah. That's my understanding.
They kicked them all out, huh?
Oh yeah, it's only bands. It's it's still 6th Street. It's not my favorite place to play. It's not my favorite place to roll gear into.
Yeah, of course.
Especially on a weekend.
Yeah, it's just nuts out there.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite venues now?
My favorite venue for a long time has been the Saxon Pub.
Yeah.
There's new places that have popped up that I've been to and not played at, or just heard about and seen footage of, and not been to or played at, that look really cool. I really want to check out the Hot Spot.
Okay.
And, I keep seeing that there's a pretty cool stage at Kick Butt Coffee.
Okay. So they're still all around. It's just not so congregated to one street as it used to be.
The thing is, and I kind of wish Austin would jump on this train, because for one thing, a lot of music stores would do really well for a minute, is the difference between here and, say, Nashville. Nashville is in the music business. So they don't just think about making a business off of the musicians. They know that they need the musicians. So just about every club, even the cruddy ones, have a drum kit, a bass amp, a PA, some basic lighting, and a guy running the PA.
Right.
I know a ton of bass players and drummers in Nashville that, like me, are have the bug for gear and the itch to have the best, and they got some pretty impressive pieces that just stay at home.
Really?
Depending on amplifiers and drum sets that just,
because they have it ready for you at the venue.
It's all there.
What do you isn't there a term for that, like backline?
Backline.
Yeah, backline.
That's another, area I've ventured into in order to stay afloat in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of gear, and I have some contacts with bands that don't live here that come to town, and they need drums, bass, keyboards.
So you just provide them with backline. That's pretty entrepreneurial, I would say.
Yeah.
Have you always kind of had that sense about you?
Entrepreneurial?
Yeah.
I guess because I'm a musician.
Right.
But I hadn't thought about backline until probably 4 or 5 years ago. And then I already had the bug for collecting gear, so I started tailoring my sights on equipment that is popular on performance riders.
Mm-hmm.
Equipment that I don't even necessarily want to play, like 65 reissue deluxe reverbs or twin reverbs.
Nobody wants to carry that thing.
No, but everybody, you see it on every performance rider. So,
yeah.
Nord Stage 3, just a basic DW drum kit and hardware package. SVT, I would love to be playing through a fridge. An SVT fridge. But I don't want to carry it.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple of pieces that I didn't buy for myself. I bought it because I'm trying this other venture. And
right.
It's, a lot of the stuff is already paid for itself and is continuing to bring in some more revenue for me. It's just another thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And it's interesting being on the sidelines and dressing up in all black and bringing a little flashlight and being on the side stage and watching someone else perform and not being
on the stage,
not doing that, and doing something else. And it's not really humbling. It's I can't really describe it. It's not, I don't dislike it at all, but it's a little strange because it's new.
Yeah. Whereas for most people, it'd be new for them to be on the stage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to take a step aside, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Just enjoy cool. The show.
I like it. It's really off the radar kind of feeling.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Well, talking about having all that gear, I know you're a multi-instrumentalist, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what other instruments do you play?
I play a lot of stringed instruments.
Yeah.
I play bass. I play mandolin.
Did guitar come first?
No, piano came first.
Oh,
okay. It was pretty popular in a family's home.
Interesting.
To have their kids start on piano.
That makes it like a pretty easy switch over to other instruments too, right? If you start off with piano first.
I'd say so, yeah.
Because you learn like the whole scale.
Yeah, but when you learn another instrument like guitar, it opens your mind up to, you got, notes on the piano that are far apart from each other that you can't hit with one hand. And those exact notes lay down right here on the guitar.
Okay.
And then, you got notes on the piano that you can, like, 3 or 4 of them you can hit at the same time with a fist. You hit those exact notes for the guitar, and your fingers like a spider, So it's an interesting kind of
contrast.
Yeah, to see that, to notice that. I started on piano when I discovered guitar and how cool that was. Mm-hmm. I kind of forgot everything.
Helped out with the 12% of females at Berklee, I'm sure, playing guitar.
No, they weren't impressed with the guitar.
More by the piano?
They were just more about not musicians.
Oh, okay. Just so oversaturated, they were sick of it.
Sick of it.
Were there frat houses at Berklee? No. Do they have frats? No,
but Berklee's in Boston, which is just full of schools.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's where I started playing. Was a lot of frat parties.
Yeah.
We start.
How does I'm sure you've played shows with a much older crowd, and like you just said, you played the shows with the, the frat parties.
Yeah.
What is it? Just like, do you play different music, and like, what is the contrast like?
Well, that was when I was in college playing frat parties.
So it was like same age group essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was cool because I wasn't playing frat parties at Berklee because there were none.
Yeah.
If there were,
nobody was.
It'd be weird music.
Yeah.
At a frat party. They want to, do a handstand on a keg to some John McLaughlin. It'd be weird.
Yeah, it doesn't line up, does it?
No, but I'd do some frat parties at Emerson and Boston University and you just what kids listened to then, 2005, 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of who, but I would say it was the end of the pop punk being popular days, and probably
definitely not grunge.
No. Goodness, no. No, but that's going to come back.
Yeah? High hopes for that one, huh?
I hope so.
I know you played with Eric Johnson. You got any fun road stories with him, or what's it like playing with him?
It was pretty cool. It was pretty amazing, to be honest. I mean, I was a big fan as a kid. and I listened to him all the time as a young teen.
That's got to be incredible to grow up listening to him and then get to play alongside
Exactly. I didn't listen to him a lot, you know, in like my later teens and 20s, but there was no reason why other than expanding and listening to more stuff, getting into other things. But when he offered me to come play with him, I brushed up on tunes and had that nostalgia whenever I listened to songs that they were going to play on the tour. Something I was like, oh, this is cool. I know how this goes, but I never played it.
Yeah. It's nice to hear because there's always that saying of like never meet your idols. And I love hearing when that wasn't the case for someone, where they ended up like really enjoying their company and then having fun with them and playing. Eric
is probably one of the few people that has the least amount, if any, ego.
Okay.
Just none.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was really gracious with the attention that he gave me on stage.
That's cool.
He did a lot of songs in his set where he played piano. He's a great piano player. But he played these songs that had iconic guitar parts in them that were just about as iconic as Cliffs of Dover. You know?
Wow.
And they were not improv. And I had to play them. And so I'd play them in front of all these fans. And he's over here, and I'm over here, and they're watching him, and then a part comes up, I go... and it was either, like, cool, or I thought they were just thinking, I want my money back.
Yeah.
I came here to see him play it, not the kid.
You still pulled it off, though. Still pulled it off.
Hopefully. Sure had fun, but he gave me a lot of solos. He gave me a song to sing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of an artist that does that to a backing musician in the band.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's I mean, that's incredible, and you're coming at it from a very humble standpoint, but I'm sure your, so to speak, resume spoke for itself and kind of helped you get there.
We'll see. I don't know. I think anything I've struggled with, in my opinion, with my popularity or in building a fan base in Austin, I think anything that I don't feel good about how I've done with that, I can look back and feel good about the amount of musicians in the community that know who I am or respect me or treat me with such graciousness.
You know? Yeah, it's not an easy task to become a respected member of the community. So
I hold on to that one tightly.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, you're very, very highly revered here. I think I might have met you once or twice just working here before.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've heard your name 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Being in the scene, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just know me from working here, you would have seen that I don't buy anything.
It's fine. We got other people for that.
I just come in and scratch Scott's beard.
Somebody has to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody's got to do it. That's awesome, man. So I think real quick we'll jump to we call them this or that questions. So I'll give you one of two choices and kind of just the first one that comes to mind. For example, it'd be like electric or acoustic.
Electric.
Yeah, I saw that one coming. So let's say you're going out. You got your wallet with you and you got some cash. Would you rather have 5 20s or $100 bill?
$100 bill.
Okay.
I'm less likely to spend it.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. If I walk in here.
Yeah. Debit or credit card?
Debit.
Okay. You're hanging out with a group of people after a show, whatever you call it. Some people like to smoke socially. So would you rather be around people smoking cigarettes or hitting an e-cig?
Cigarettes. Analog. All the way.
Analog. Take it back to the old school. Okay. You're walking out of the house. Would you rather be dressed in comfort or style?
Style.
Okay.
Sadly.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense to me too. Going back in your house, is it more important for you to have really good lighting that you prefer, or is it more important for you to have like the proper smells, like candles lit? You only get one, the lighting or the smells?
Lighting.
Lighting. Okay.
Because there's no candle that can surpass my feet.
It's just not even worth the try.
No, it's not.
So you're going on a vacation, the two opposite ends of the spectrum. You can stay at a cool hotel in a nice city, or you can go camping in a really beautiful nature preserve.
Hotel in a nice city.
Yeah. Would you rather cook or go out to eat?
Go out to eat. These don't make me seem very cool.
You're just not a cooker. You can't cook, huh?
I can cook very well. That doesn't mean I enjoy it.
Yeah. There you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Would you rather talk on the phone with romantic interest? I guess in this case, your girlfriend. Would you rather talk on the phone or text?
Talk on the phone.
Yeah, that's classic.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather listen to an audiobook or read a book?
Listen to an audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly.
Cocktails or beer?
Ooh, I would say beer, but I'm working on a gut, so I should say cocktails.
The gut's a work in progress, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to work on it.
I mean, I think everybody is subconsciously.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see here. Would you rather watch a movie or watch a TV show?
Movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like when things end.
Would you rather play a big venue or a small one?
Small one.
Small one.
Mm-hmm.
More intimate experience.
I think so.
Yeah.
I feel like I have more control in that situation.
There you go. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have any? That'd be great.
we need a coffee person. We need a hair and makeup person. And someone that comes in and sets up all the gear.
And a fluffer.
And a fluffer. What's a fluffer?
Yeah, you need that.
I'll trust you guys. I'm gonna take your word for it.
I'll tell you when you're older.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how legal that'd be, but yeah, you need one.
Yeah, I'll call some people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it is. I'll just tell them, hey, we need a fluffer. I don't know if you know what that is, but you gotta get one in here. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Classic. And do you watch any sports at all?
Not many.
Boxing or UFC?
Boxing.
Okay. Really? Did you watch boxing growing up?
No.
Okay.
No, I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that boxing would require a little bit more fine-tuned technique and discipline. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I could be wrong.
Okay, cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
I've never fought anyone.
Yeah.
I've never fought back.
Have you seen a bunch of fights on stage in the crowd?
No, but I have a fantastic 6th Street story.
Let's hear it. You got time?
I got time, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Friends Bar, the stage used to be, well, actually it still is, but the old stage, just like the new one, has just a set of steps, probably 3 steps until you're on the stage. No rails, no nothing. It's the front of the stage. The whole front is just steps.
Yeah.
And people are shouting out requests that we don't do, like TikTok by Kesha. Okay. We do that now. But things that don't, because this is during a time when it's a shift, the generation is changing, the music's changing downtown, and there's this college guy. He looked like he was in college. He had a backwards hat on. The bill was flat.
Yeah, we've seen him. We've all seen him before.
And he's like holding a PBR or something. He's wasted, completely trashed. And he walks up while we're doing Tush by ZZ Top. And he walks up to request a song. He's got his finger in his hand and his eyes are glazed over. He's like, looks like he's about to say, do you know? So without thinking, I just hit the D and the G string because it sounds nice in G, and because they're open. And I let them ring out, and I slid the guitar kind of behind me, and I took him by his shoulders with my arms crossed, and just went. And he was turned around, and he continued to walk down the steps. And it took like a solid 1.5 seconds for him to go.
It's like out of a Dr. Seuss cartoon.
Yeah. I felt extraordinarily proud of myself.
As you should.
Because I didn't hurt him.
Yeah.
You know?
It just outsmarted him.
Yeah. I just changed his route.
You just did a Tai Chi move.
if he didn't notice, yeah, I guess so.
Oh man, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a good story. I love hearing them.
That's a good one.
Yeah, did you have a question you want to ask, Scott?
I had a question for you, Dave. I noticed you play Strats most of the time. Just kind of the dumb generic question, but like why choose Strats over like Tele, Les Paul, SG, Marshall, all those different kinds. I know you have a Les Paul, but it seems like every time I've seen you, you have just Strats, on Strats.
A Strat is an instrument that I've become very familiar with. If I pick up any Strat, anyone else's Strat, I'm quicker to feel comfortable on that instrument than picking up someone's Tele. Definitely than picking up someone's Les Paul. I love the sound of a Les Paul, but it's heavy, and I don't always have. I'm not always quick to grab both volume knobs and get where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with the Tele. Even though the Tele has one volume knob, if it's wired like a Tele is supposed to be, it's over here. It's over here. Yeah. I have a couple of Teles. They both have reverse plates for the sake of me grabbing it with my pinky. It's still not as close as a Strat. That's one. I mean, it's technically less pickup positions than a Strat. Les Paul and Tele are both less. There's a lot of Tele players that say, that no, a Tele is more versatile than a Strat, even though it's less positions. But I mean, I really do. I can find just about any sound I hear in my head with a Strat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Versatile. Very cool. Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming on, man.
I mean, pleasure.
Seriously, we really do appreciate it. Appreciate you taking the time to come over here and not buy a guitar again.
Maybe I'll change that.
In all seriousness, though, it's always a pleasure to have you in here, man. We really appreciate it. And I think before you go, if you could do a quick little performance or noodle around for us,
Do I get to choose the guitar?
Any guitar you want to, man. We'd love to hear it.
Let me see that Martin right there.
Sweet, let's do it. Thanks, man.
I'm keeping it.